بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء وبعد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has many traits, many qualities. Sometimes we refer to these traits and qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through His beautiful names. He is Alim, He is Hakim, He is Qadir, He is Raziq, and many beautiful names Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has. These qualities, traits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they manifest in many different ways. They are shown in many different ways. They are displayed in many forms at different times. This whole creation, the universe in which we have also been created, the whole system, the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, this earth, the system of the skies and the earth, the growth, everything that has been created in this system. There are three traits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are directly connected, or you could say that are functioning in relation to this whole creation, that are manifesting. Three primary traits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, three of His sifat that are resulting in everything we see around us. Everything that is considered to be creation, the whole function of the universe. There are three primary sifat of Allah, traits, characteristics that are resulting in, that are directly connected to, or primarily the cause for everything we see around us. Like for example, the trait of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Ghafoor, the most forgiving. This trait of Allah manifests within the believers. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through His trait, characteristic of Ghafoor, He forgives the believers. Allah's forgiveness is for the believers. Another trait of Allah is Al-Muntaqim. He is the Avenger. Where does this trait of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala manifest? In His enemies. Those who are the enemies of Allah, those who rebel against Allah, this trait of Al-Muntaqim, the Avenger, this manifests within the enemies of Allah. Allah shows this trait in His enemies, how He deals with them. He avenges their rebellion against Him. Likewise, all the traits of Allah. In relation to creation, there are three primary traits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are resulting in whatever we see around us, all of creation. Number one, the trait of Ibda', or Allah being Badee'. Number two, the trait of Takhliq, or Allah being Khaliq. And number three, the trait of Tadbir, Allah being Mudabbir. Inshallah, I'll try to simplify these three traits and we'll speak a little about them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, primarily, His trait of being Badee', the trait of the characteristic of Ibda', was primarily connected to the existence of creation. Ibda' means to bring something into existence from nothing. So nothing existed before, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings something into existence. He creates it. This is called Ibda'. Only Allah is Badee', meaning this is exclusively to Allah, this trait. No one can do this. Nothing, to bring something out of nothing, right? There was a clip recently, someone was being asked, disbeliever, that, if you have a whole set of zeros, 0, 0, 0, 0. Could that eventually become something? And this disbeliever went on to say, well, if you have so many zeros, maybe these zeros can end up to become something, which is totally illogical and irrational. No matter how many times you multiply a zero, it will always end up as zero. Like something cannot come out of nothing. But Allah is Badee. He is the one who brings into existence something that did not exist at all. He is Badee. The Prophet ﷺ says in a hadith, كان الله ولم يكن شيء. Allah existed and nothing was with him. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ مَعَهُ شَيْءٌ. When these people of Yemen, they came to the Prophet ﷺ and they asked the Prophet ﷺ, O Prophet of Allah, teach us. We want to learn about this religion. Teach us, how did everything start? Where did everything begin from? This is when the Prophet ﷺ said this. كَانَ اللَّهُ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ شَيْءٌ. Or مَعَهُ شَيْءٌ. Allah existed, Allah was there, nothing was with him. Nothing existed with him. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought something into existence. He is Badee. Initial existence, bringing something out of nothing. The second trait of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Takhliq, or being Khaliq, meaning creating. Creating means to bring something out of something else, to make something out of another thing, to create matter out of matter. Like for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salam from dirt. So dirt existed before, dust, soil. And then Allah formed the soil and made Adam alayhi salam. Likewise, so something exists and Allah makes another thing out of something. This is called takhliq. Allah being Khaliq means He creates things from other things. This is also Allah's trait. Allah does this also. Allah does not bring everything into existence from nothing. Right? Like we are created from something. Our creation was from a drop of sperm. Right? That sperm was created from something. When we take many or a lot of creation that we see, it has originated from something else. This is also the sifat of Allah. Allah does this also. He uses something to create another. He uses the clouds to form rain, right? And likewise. So much of what we see around us, there is some matter that existed before that brought what we see into existence. And all of us are an example of this too. This is also the sifat of Allah. He creates something from another. This is being Khaliq. Not only does He, part of His creation, He's being a Khaliq, is not only to create something from another, but also we need to understand this is very important. Also, He creates the effects, the athar, or the khawas, the exclusive traits that we see in creation. He creates those effects also. Like for example, Allah created fire. He may create fire from another substance. And the effect of fire is to burn. Allah creates that effect too. The effect of ice is coldness, right? The effect of the atmosphere sometimes is cold, sometimes it's hot. So these effects that we see in everything, like the effect of a sharp knife, is that it results in cutting. Allah creates that effect also. So not only does He create the makhluk, the creation, but He also creates the effects and the benefits or the harms of that makhluk. This is also part of Allah being Khaliq. Sometimes we say Allah is Khaliq, meaning He created everything, and that's it. No, Allah being Khaliq also means that whatever effects we see of materials, what we call cause and effect, all the effects we see from material are also created by Allah. He is the one who creates these effects. Number 2. And number 3, His characteristic of being Mudabbir, Tadbir. Tadbir meaning He is the one who organizes, and He is the one who plans what happens in creation. He is the organizer. He is the planner. He is the one who administers the affairs of all of His creation. Meaning, anything that happens is due to the wish and plan of Allah. It's through His tadbir. So when you put this all together, Allah brings something into existence from nothing. He is Badee. That is His trait of ibda'. Allah creates things, materials, from other materials, and He puts in them exclusive traits that they function the way Allah wants them to function. This is through His attribute and trait of being Khaliq, being the creator. He creates things and the effects of those things. And number 3, through His sifat of tadbir, through His characteristic and quality of being the organizer, being the administrator, being the planner. All of the effects we see, what they result in is through the tadbir of Allah. Meaning He has planned, and according to His plan, He makes everything function. Simple example, when He plans for something to burn down, He will allow fire to burn. The effect of fire, Allah will allow it to occur so that the house will burn down. It may be good, it may be bad. Meaning some people may die because of this. But the burning of the house was through the tadbir of Allah. Allah wanted this conclusion, therefore He caused the fire to burn and reach its conclusion, because it was based on the wisdom and plan of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted Ibrahim alayhi salam to live on and to guide many people after him. So when Namrud had Ibrahim alayhi salam thrown into the fire, Allah did not allow the fire to burn Ibrahim alayhi salam. This is also according to the tadbir of Allah. Allah planned this because He didn't want Ibrahim to die then. And therefore, whatever tadbir, whatever plan Allah makes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala causes the creation to function accordingly. Allah causes the fire to burn when He had plans to do so. And the fire will not burn if Allah has not planned. The knife usually cuts because that's according to Allah's plan. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted Ismail alayhi salam to live on so that our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam can come from his lineage. So when Ibrahim alayhi salam put the knife on his throat, the knife did not cut. Why? Because Allah creates the effect of cutting in that knife. But when cutting is not according to Allah's plan, tadbir, it will not cut. Because this was not Allah's plan. The Prophet Zakaria alayhi salam, I believe it was Zakaria alayhi salam or Yahya alayhi salam, one of the two. He was, his people were chasing him, running after him to kill him. He hid within a tree trunk. And we know the story. They took a saw and they cut the tree into half. And the Prophet was also sliced into half. A great Prophet of Allah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not stop that saw from cutting. He allowed it to cut His most beloved Prophet. Why? Because this was the tadbir of Allah. Allah had planned that he will attain the status of a shaheed through this way, and he will gain a great status in the eyes of Allah. And this is why Allah gave him patience, and He gave his life in this way, this great Prophet. When we open the Quran, every page we will see the tadbir of Allah functioning. How did Allah plan something and how did it happen? Throughout the Quran, we will see this, we will realize this. When we study the Quran, when we listen to the Quran, when we understand the Quran, we will see the tadbir of Allah. By Allah, if we were to understand the tadbir of Allah, we would not be surprised of what's happening right now. What happened for the past 2 years. Because Allah has planned everything. And thus the appearance of this invisible virus, its proliferation, it's infecting people, and some people dying, some people living. All of this is through the tadbir of Allah. Nothing happened that Allah did not plan it to happen. Everything is happening according to His plan. And according to His plan, if He wanted people to live, the medicine will cure them. And if He wanted people to pass away, the medicine would not help them. Likewise, everything is through the tadbir of Allah. We need to understand this tadbir around us. Everywhere we look, we should see the tadbir of Allah. This is the plan of Allah. We should not become intimidated. We are believers. We should understand Allah is our Khaliq. Allah is the one who is planning everything, and nothing goes against His plan. If He wants, everything will be favorable. If He wants, He will cause the earth to shake when He wants. He will cause the wind to blow pleasantly, or He will cause the wind to destroy people and homes. This is according to His plan. When we truly understand this, we will understand more, not fully, who Allah is. The reason why I'm saying this, there are two very important reasons why I'm speaking about this for myself and all of us. Is two reasons. One is, briefly, I can't speak any further. Inshallah, the next time I stand here, I will elaborate on the reasons, because this is what I really wanted to get to. One is that we get to know Allah better. When we come to the masjid, when we do sajda, we know how our sajda is. Sometimes we don't even know who we are doing sajda to. Do we not realize this? We came to the masjid, we performed salat, and we left, and we didn't even think of who we did sajda to. We don't even realize whose house we are coming into. A lot of us have lost realization of who Allah really is. His power, His might, how His tadbir is functioning in my life. A lot of us think we control our life. We are so oblivious of Allah's tadbir, these sifat of Allah, in my own self. This is why, one, it will help us understand better what is actually going on. Understand how these traits of Allah affect each and every one of us, number one. And number two, we are never in doubt of who is our Khaaliq, because we are getting very close to a time where people will start doubting who their Creator is. There's coming a time when there will be someone other than Allah who will claim that He is the Creator, He is the Khaliq. And masses of human beings will believe Him. There is someone coming who will say, He will show what He can do, and masses upon masses of human beings will believe He is the Khaliq. We have been warned of this. If we truly understand who the Khaliq is, we will not be fooled. If we are able to explain to our children who our Khaliq really is, they will not be fooled. This is why this is a matter of grave importance, that we are very clear about this, so that when this deception comes before human beings, we are not in doubt who is truly our Khaliq. Inshallah, we'll speak more about this. I'm above time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to open our hearts to this realization. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillah.
الحمد لله الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى والعلم واليقين وأيده بالأدلة القواطع والبراهين وجعله هدى ورحمة للعالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله الملك الحق المبين وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله إمام المتقين وأشرف المرسلين اللهم صل وسلم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد فيا أيها الناس اتقوا الله بمعرفة الحق واتباعه ومعرفة الباطل واجتنابه فإن الله أرسل محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم رحمة لجميع العالمين وهدى لجميع المتقين أرسله بكل علم نافع ودليل صادق وهدى نافع علم به بعد الجهالة وهدى به من الضلالة ما بقي من أصول الدين وفروعه إلا بينه ولا قاعدة وأصل من علوم الكون إلا أسسه واحتله، فالعلم الصحيح ما قام عليه الدليل، والنافع من العلوم والمعارف ما جاء به الرسول. شريعته الكاملة هيمنت على جميع الشرائع السابقة وتممتها، وسنته وضحت أمور الدين والدنيا وبينتها، فهي في غاية العدل والحسن لقوم يعقلون. قال الله تعالى: ومن أحسن من الله حكما لقوم يوقنون. فأحكامه في العبادات والمعاملات أحسن الأحكام. حكم بأن كل طيب حلال نافع، وكل خبيث فهو مضر حرام، وقد احتضنت علومه وشريعته كل علم وعمل نافع صحيح، وأتت بما يوافق العقول الصحيحة والفطرة المستقيمة، فلم يأتي ولن يأتي علم صحيح ينافي ما جاء به الرسول، بل جميعها تشهد له بالحق والصدق، وكلها تعترف له بالكمال والفضل والسبق. فالعقول تهتدي وتقتدي بأقواله وأفعاله، وتعترف بافتقارها إليه في كل أحواله. فهو صلى الله عليه وسلم أعظم الخلق حلما وصبرا، وأكثرهم عفوا عن الخلق والصفحا، وأجمعهم لجميع المحاسن والكمالات، وأكرمهم في الخير والمعروف وبذل الهبات. وهو الذي جمع الكرم والإحسان بعلمه وعمله وحاله وماله، وهو الذي أرشد العباد للحق في جميع أحواله، وبذلك ملأ قلوب أمته رحمة وبرا وإحسانا، وأوصلهم إلى الفلاح والسعادة سرا وإعلانا. لم يبق خير إلا علمهم به ودلهم عليه، ولا شر إلا حذرهم منه، دلهم على مكارم الأخلاق وحذرهم من الكريهات، وأحب لهم البصيرة النافذة عند حلول الشبهات، واستعمال العقل الكامل عند ورود الشهوات، والشجاعة في كل شيء ولو على قتل المؤذيات، والسماحة ولو بكف من تمرات. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قل من حرم زينة الله التي أخرج لعباده والطيبات من الرزق. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم، ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله، صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى مخبرا وآمرا: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك، وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات، خصوصا على أمير المؤمنين سيدنا أبي بكر الصديق رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى أمير المؤمنين سيدنا عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى أمير المؤمنين سيدنا عثمان بن عفان رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى أمير المؤمنين سيدنا علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله تعالى عنه، وعلى سيدة نساء أهل الجنة فاطمة الزهراء رضي الله تعالى عنها، وعلى سيدي شباب أهل الجنة الحسن والحسين رضي الله تعالى عنهما، وعلى الستة الباقية من العشرة المبشرة، وعلى أمهات المؤمنين، وعلى سائر الصحابة والتابعين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين، اللهم انصر من نصر الإسلام والمسلمين، واخذل من خذل الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم اجعل بلاد الإسلام آمنة مطمئنة من كل البليات والآفات. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب التواب الرحيم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروني يذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. मैं जल्दी से बीच की जगह पूर्ण कर लो, जो जो जगह है वो पीछे से आके आ जाइए। शोल्डर टू शोल्डर खड़े रह जाए मिलकर। ये बीच में जगह है, आप लोग इधर हो जाए, एक आदमी पीछे से आ सकता है।
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله أكبر. سبحان الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. هل أتاك حديث الغاشية؟ وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع. وجوه يومئذ ناعمة لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة ونمارق مصفوفة وزرابي مبثوثة. أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت. فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر. إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي. الله أكبر. تحيات. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله. لا إله إلا الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله سيدنا محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين. وربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين. اللهم اجعلنا من الذين لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. اللهم اشفنا واشف مرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشفنا واشف مرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشفنا واشف مرضى المسلمين. اللهم اغفر لحينا وميتنا وشاهدنا وغائبنا وصغيرنا وكبيرنا وذكرنا وأنثانا. اللهم من أحييته منا فأحيه على الإسلام، ومن توفيته منا فتوفه على الإيمان. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.